Welcome to the final event of the 2024 Top World Disc Golf Tour Series, the Tour Finale at Boulder Creek Country Club and Golf Course. Here's your scores after round one. Edan Badajos is leading the charge, followed by Devin, Rowell, Badajos, and Jeffrey McCormick. I'm Keenan, Dalton.
And I'm Paavo Stubstad.
And welcome to Top World Disc Golf.
Now, Keenan, I see the same last name twice on the lead card there. Is that these two guys we're looking at here?
Yes, exactly. Edan Badajos is the father of Badajos. They're coming all the way from Homer, Alaska.
Wow, long ways from home, and a father-son combo on lead card together is not something that I think I've ever seen before, so that's really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys both show us what they've got out there.
Yeah, and joined by the Badajos family, we have Devin Rowell, and on your screen now is Jeffrey McCormick. So a sweet foursome for our final tournament of the year.
And this is a 27-hole course out here, right, Keenan?
Yeah, so you've seen the other 18 holes out here at the Boulder Creek Golf and Country Club, but this front nine has not been played since the 2020 CZU fires. So after the course was damaged, it hasn't been in play for disc golf since then, golf only. But for this event and for the winter, these holes are now open. So super excited to showcase these great holes. Starting it off on hole one, it's a pretty shorty to get the round started. The road on the left side plays as OB, and then there's also this cart path through the middle of the fairway that plays as a river. So most of these players are probably just going to opt for the backhand.
Edan Badajos up first. Dad gets to tee off before son. Good hyzer around the right side, skipping close. Oh, but that stops right on the OB cart path. That's too bad. Should still have a look to save the par, though. Probably in the circle, maybe just outside.
And Devin Rowell up next. A little high, but gets through everything.
A little bit short, but far away from that OB cart path at least. About circle's edge or just outside.
And then up next, Badajos, 16 years old, 931 rated, looking to make his father proud today.
Good looking hyzer line. Stay off that cart path. Oh yeah, best drive we've seen yet. That's pretty much a guaranteed birdie right there.
Good way to start your round. And then up lastly is Jeffrey McCormick out of Modesto, California.
Yep, sallied that one a bit. And
Yeah.
that actually stayed on the cart path, huh?
Yeah, unfortunate to not throw it hard and then also get double punished with the OB cart path. So he's going to have a very long look to save par.
And he's going to start off with a bogey. That's too bad. It's a pretty easy starting hole. It averaged 2.55, nearly half a stroke under par. Here's Edan looking to save his par after the penalty stroke. Great putt. Must have been outside the circle since he jumped.
Yeah, that's a good little confidence boost to start the round. And this is Devin Rowell for birdie 2.
Perfect. Great putt. Starting off with a birdie.
And last to putt, Badajos. Like you said, basically a tap in. He's in for the birdie.
Jeffrey drops in his bogey, and we move on.
Yeah, so hole 2 is I'd call it a championship level par 3 because 382, but it plays longer, and with this hillside, it makes it pretty tough to get the backhand there without, flexing it or getting a high flip-up shot. So, and for most people, 382, but it plays like longer, so the sidearm is much harder to achieve as well. Plus this guarded green, pretty cool hole.
Yeah, very cool looking green, but it looks like the kind of green where if you end up on the wrong side of the basket, even if you're in the circle, you might have no putt at all.
Exactly. Those redwood trees can definitely come into play on the putt depending on your position. And Devin up first, but he just burns that one over a little bit into the hillside, so that's still about 100 short. But Jai's got a big sidearm. See if he can get it there.
Yeah, this fairway does shape a little better for the forehand than the backhand. I can see why he's going with it. Putting a nice flex on it. That is a beautiful flight right there. That's still a bit short, but like you said, it's a pro level par 3, so that's a good drive.
Exactly. Par's not bad.
No, this one averaged 3.18. Significantly over par. Jai with the backhand. Full flex, coming back to the middle. That's a great drive. He's probably about 50 feet short or so, if I had to guess. Hopefully he has a look from that angle.
Yeah, pretty full power shot from Edan. And next up is Jeffrey. Teeing off from the side of the tee pad there, which is optional.
Wow, that's a great drive. Hole 1 made me think he didn't have as much power, but he certainly can keep up with the rest of this card. He just must have messed up somehow on hole 1, but that's good distance there.
Yeah, definitely could be a little bit of nerves for these guys when you have the 3-camera crew there ready to film them.
Yeah, I got to wonder if any of these guys have ever been filmed before. Maybe Edan for some Alaska tournaments. Didn't you mention, Keenan, he's one of the highest rated players in Alaska?
Yeah. Edan is currently the 3rd highest rated player in the state of Alaska. Pretty cool. See if he can convert.
Oh, so close. The basket is weirdly low down, too.
Yeah, I noticed that as the pole is protruding from the top there, and it does make it extra low.
But it's kind of on an elevated mound, so leads to more normal feeling putts, I suppose. It just looks a little strange.
Yeah, maybe we'll chalk that missed putt up from Devin to the weird basket.
Why not?
And Jai tapping in his par.
As the rest of the players tap in their pars and or bogeys here, I got to shout out the only birdie of the day on this Pro Par 3, as you called it, Tim Hammersley. Well done, sir.
All right, straight from a longer par 3 to a shorter par 5, hole 3. So this is 982 feet. Basically, the first 2 shots, you're just going to want to keep it in the fairway, not too far left. And then once you get closer to the green, you have a couple more obstacles, such as the golf bunker and the golf green that are both playing as OB or hazard. And then you have the basket, which is right here in another redwood grove. So, really fun hole. See how it plays.
And on this hole, the walking path or cart path there before the basket is actually safe, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yep. Yeah, different rules about the cart paths from hole to hole out here.
Yeah, there is that road that you can see on the left side that is OB, but the cart path is not playing as OB.
That's very fair when the cart path is only a few feet short of the basket. Okay, so that is safe there. It didn't reach the road. It's just up against the fence. Edan has a very unique run-up with that little stutter step he throws in and still follows it up with a more traditional X step. But I've seen people do the stutter step instead of an X step before, but not in addition to an X step. Like you think of a Jerry Eshelman, for example. He would do the stutter step instead of an X step. But Edan does both and makes it work very well. Always fun to see unique forms and approaches to disc golf.
Absolutely. Maybe that was more from the era of older disc golfers when we didn't have YouTube to teach you perfect form.
Probably true.
And Devin up lastly. Just a nice low drive. Coming right at the catch cam.
Yep, middle of the fairway. Pretty wide fairway, pretty straightforward. Like you said, shorter par 5. And here we have an interesting scenario where I believe the road is the OB line, but not the fence. So Jai is forced to throw from right up against the fence here. Glad he didn't hit his hand there on the follow through.
Yeah, had the fence been the out of bounds line, he could have taken that meter of relief. Since it's not, he was pretty pinched off there.
Like I was saying, this is a pretty soft par 5. Like you said, the scoring average on this hole is 4.45, so more than half a stroke under par with over 50% of the field taking birdie. So you definitely want your birdie on this one.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the main danger is the bunker and the green that really come into play on the third shot. So, and they're so much, shorter than the actual putting green that, with good shots, they shouldn't really even come into play either.
Sure.
So that's good placement for Edan after his second shot. He'll have to get it close there to have an opportunity for birdie. And then Jeffrey, understandably, a little not trusting the footing too much out here because we did get a little bit of moisture and rain, so it does get a little soupy out there.
I mean, that's the miss though, right?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Maybe burn that one over as a result.
Yep. Yeah, it's hard to commit with your plant foot if you're dealing with soupy or slick ground.
So now here's Jai's third shot. Right over the green. Misses the flag.
Beautiful. And that's why it's fair for the cart path to be safe on this hole. He deserves a birdie look for that shot.
Yeah. And Devin's third. Looks pretty
Nice.
good.
Straight shot. Yeah, right there in the circle, I think. Yeah, circle's edge. Ooh, cut roller? Or not really a cut roller, just a forehand roller maybe?
Or perhaps a thumber.
Oh, that is yeah, you're right. I didn't see the grip. I was a little confused. Yep, thumber makes a lot more sense. And pretty well executed, but an unfortunate roll there. Hard to tell from this angle how much farther that rolled after it went behind those trees. We will find out when we get to the green.
Yeah, probably going to have that redwood tree in his line. So here's Edan's third shot.
Perfect. CTP, I believe. A little bit closer than his son. Well, Jeffrey must not be too far if Devin is up first here. Nice putt. Good birdie. Okay. Yeah, didn't roll too far, but turned it into a very tricky putt. Yeah, he's weighing some various options here.
And chicken wing.
Oh, that is not a shot you see every day. In fact, I might have only seen people like Jeremy Colling throw it for fun, not during sanctioned play. Could bring new meaning to the phrase, got a little meat left on the bone.
So there's a famous picture of this green from the fires. The fire got all the way up and burnt those redwood trees behind the basket. So that's how close it was, to burning down this entire area.
Yeah, you can definitely still see that on the bark.
All right, both the Badajos in for birdie.
Yep, 3 birdies, 1 par. Kind of what you expect on a hole that was kind of a softer par 5.
Yeah, and comparatively, this par 4 I think is a good challenge for these guys. You got the stakes on the left side that mark the OB, as well as the cart path on the right side. Plays out of bounds. And a pretty long, beautiful fairway here. And it really tightens up once you get closer to the green, because there is the cart path beyond the basket that plays out of bounds as well.
Yeah, and actually you said this should be a good challenge for them. An interesting note, comparing this hole to the previous one, they averaged the exact same raw score-wise, 4.45. So the previous one was more than half a stroke under par. This one is almost half a stroke above par. Much harder.
Yeah, the green definitely adds some challenge. I said that cart path was OB, but it's actually playing as a river. So just don't want to land on it. So that adds a little bit of challenge on that upshot.
Gotcha. So it's not OB and beyond. It's just OB on it.
Correct.
Yep. Good looking shot there from Jai, I think. Hard to see where it ended up, but
yeah, and this tee pad also has, the thorns right behind it, so there's not a ton of room for players that like a long run up.
Yeah, and Edan, I think, is one of those players. On the previous holes, we've seen him start his run-up from a good 5 to 10 feet behind the tee pads, or behind and to their right. He kind of does a diagonal run-up. Good looking line from Devin, as long as it doesn't end up too far to the left. That should be all right. Sloped footing, but not too bad.
Yeah, sloped footing to a sloped green. Can be pretty difficult second shot. And last up, Jeffrey. Smooth swing. Looks like it's faded out to the left side near Devin's.
Ooh, good roll back to the middle. Well, a little backwards too, but I think he'd probably prefer flat footing and losing a little distance over staying on that slope. Tough to do run-ups on a slope like that. Nice flat shot. Fading a little at the end, and might give him a longer look depending on where those trees are at.
This looks good. Stays away from the white post. Oh, a little roll after the fact.
Oh, turning into a bigger roll. That's too bad. Well, we're used to seeing a lot of people getting daylawed on Top World coverage, given how many events we have seen at that course, but I guess you get daylawed if you're on Top World coverage regardless of the course.
Yeah, that's rough.
That was a heck of a roll away. Thing just wouldn't stop. He's still laughing about it in the background there.
Sometimes it's all you can do. But it's a good point that it shouldn't come into the green with too much hyzer, or else there is that roll away potential. But somehow Edan sticks it close, stays in bounds. So that was a good second shot.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's funny how rollaways work like that. It's like a small rollaway is annoying, but once it turns into a huge rollaway, then it just kind of becomes funny.
Yeah, cue the circus music.
Exactly.
Looked like that was going out of bounds and maybe got stopped by that tree. So that was a good save.
Yeah, very close to the OB line, but stayed safe. Poor Devin. Having a bit of a rough go on this hole.
Jai for birdie.
Ah, just wide. Devin to save par.
Oof.
Looks tricky lie here for Jeffrey.
Yeah, he had to do the chicken wing on the last putt, and now he's got to go through the tiny little gap.
Oh, this is a cool angle right here. I like this. Well, he hit the gap in the trees. Didn't go OB on the path.
Yeah,
Could be worse, I suppose.
Really daunting to have the OB 5 feet behind the basket.
Yeah, right.
Especially when the majority of the putts are going to be from this hillside pointed at the OB. In for a single bogey.
Yep. And Edan still hasn't even putted.
Where did this come from?
So his second shot was even better than I thought.
He went over. Can't even call it local love. Different state love.
And Jeff's in for his par. And Edan with the birdie, and that was actually the only birdie of the day on this hole.
Wow. It's kind of a smaller field today in the MPO division because there was another event, the NorCal Team Invitational, happening in Stockton, California, that had a huge draw for the local California pros. So you don't see those usual names because they're out competing there. So that, I guess that doesn't surprise me that there was only one birdie with such a small field. But here we're going to a very birdieable hole. Pretty self-explanatory, straight hole 5, 317. There is that cart path that is OB beyond the basket. But most of these guys should all have a birdie opportunity here.
Yeah, this is the easiest hole we've seen so far with a scoring average of 2.36. Well over half of the field taking birdie on this one. Par is going to feel like a bogey.
Edan opting for the sidearm, maybe for a little distance control, avoid that OB long, but didn't quite throw it hard enough. He's got a circle to look at it.
Oh, so low.
Yeah, you could hear Jeff saying that was too low there. Wide open hole, though. He'll still have a long look at birdie, but of course you want to be closer than that on a hole like this.
And here, Devin is throwing lefty backhand.
Wow. Ambidextrous guy out here. Impressive.
Yeah, I asked him about that. He said he had an injury, I think playing baseball, which made it so he doesn't like the sidearm. So he'll throw the lefty backhand or the righty backhand in order to not throw a sidearm.
Hey, it's cool to have that ability.
Yeah, let's go.
There you go.
Yeah. Good putt from Jai. And good birdie from Devin as well. Devin and Jai both continuing their accordion scorecard pattern. Devin, unfortunately, with the bogeys in between the birdies, and Jai with the pars in between the birdies. And good birdie from Edan as well. And Jeffrey's in for the par that feels like a bogey.
All right, hole 6, 192 feet. It's positioned here on the hillside, and the OB fence line just beyond the basket. So basically, pretty easy hole for these guys. Got to land it flat on the hillside, and because there is that roll-away potential with the steep green, but pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I just had to do a double take looking at the stats here, making sure I was looking at the right hole. It sure seems like it should be easy, but I have to imagine a lot of people got rollaways or something, because this hole averaged 3.36.
Yeah, I'm
Hole
going to say
6,
that
192, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say that distance is maybe a little wrong, because you got to throw it a lot harder than 192 feet, in my experience.
Okay, sure, but I mean, even if it's 250 or something, you would still think it would average well under par, and it actually averaged a third of a stroke over par somehow. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see how like I said, with the rollaway potential, scary putts on this green for sure. And Jai going a little long there, so he'll look to be a circle 1 putt for birdie. And Devin, no pars so far. Giving himself an opportunity. Pretty close to where Jai landed.
Yeah, so far I'm failing to understand the scoring average on this one still. That's so bizarre.
Yeah, smooth swing from Jeff, but a little short again.
Oh,
Off the top.
no. Well, yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I have to, wow, that thing just doesn't want to sit down. I have to assume that the poor scoring average on this was mostly the result of things like that happening to people.
Yeah, I've seen it happen a lot on this hole. I don't know if it's the short cut of the grass or what, but just if you miss that putt, it'll start rolling.
I guess the way to miss, if you're going to miss, is an air ball like we just saw from Devin. I'm not going to get a roll away from that, typically. Yep. And Jeffrey's going to be taking the bogey. Yeah, there's something weird going on with this hole. It's got some kind of a force field around it or something. All right, can we get one birdie on this short hole on our lead card? Let's see. Eden's good for it. And again, I never thought I'd be shouting out birdies on a hole like this, but there were only 2 on the day. Edan was one of them, the other coming from Roshan Thomas.
Like you said, there's a force field.
Yeah. Yeah, I scrolled down the rest of the stats. There were a good number of bogeys and 1 double bogey. A bunch of pars and then the 2 birdies. So, yep, that's how we ended up with a above par scoring average on this wide open hole.
All right, let's shake that off onto hole 7. I think this is one of the just most beautiful holes on the front 9. You got the OB stakes on the left side, and you got this putting green in front of the basket that can also pose some danger, as it is also OB. And then those stakes just wrap around the basket, so OB very close to the basket. Pretty tough par 3 despite the distance.
Yeah, that OB stake behind the basket looked like it was less than 8 feet away. That is very close OB line.
Man, this one's going left. Needs to stop.
Oh, that's real close to the OB line. Those stakes are very far apart, unless there's one that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, it was just those 2, so we'll see a little bit of the discussion about whether it's in or out. But first, Jai up next.
That's a great looking line. Flipped up to flat, carried nicely, fading towards the basket. Finished a little short, but, you know, with the OB so tight on the left side and deep, that's almost what you want on this hole.
Yeah, this one, again, it says 299, but I think it plays longer, even though it is downhill, especially because you have to clear this OB green and stick it close without going OB long. It's very difficult to gauge the distance correctly.
Yeah, it looks like a tough one. It did average over par at 3.09. Still somehow averaged easier than the previous hole.
See if Jeffrey can get a birdie on his scorecard.
Oh, too much turn.
Yeah, is it going to clear the green? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, easily. So perfect distance, I want to say. Just kind of yanked it a bit and went way too far right.
Yeah.
That puts him, I don't know, 70, 80 feet.
So here they are looking at both stakes, and without a rope from both stakes to determine whether it's in or out, they're really having a hard time.
I'm calling it in. What are you calling, Jai?
Jeffrey's over it. He's going to his lie. I mean, without having been there myself and seeing the lie, just a general comment. In my opinion, if a discussion needs to go on for this long about whether or not a disc is in bounds when it's this close to a line, there's a rule for that. It's benefit of the doubt goes to the player when it's too close to call. It may be out by a millimeter, but when it's that close and you got to look at it for this long, my opinion is just benefit of the doubt rule.
Yeah, I think ultimately they are deciding that Jeffrey says it's out, Devin says that it's probably out, and then Jai and Edan think that it could be in. So, like you said, benefit to the player, but Jeff's first out to putt, so he's trying to...
He's ready to go, and they keep discussing the OB. He's clearly a little bit annoyed by it, which is understandable. I'd probably feel the same way in his shoes. And he resets, steps back up to his lie.
What?
And he just drains it. What a scenario there. The long discussion about the potential OB lie, and he's ready to go and has to reset because they keep discussing the OB lie, and then he just drains like an 80-footer.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that was outside circle 2. Look at how many steps it took him to get back to his lie there.
Yeah, I'd say 80 feet is a great guess. And his first birdie of the day.
Wow. Not how you expect to get your first birdie of the day. But well done, Jeffrey. You got a great highlight on video. Edan just laying up real quick there because of the OB behind the basket. He'll just take his par. And here's Devin for birdie.
Scary putt to run with that OB. Oh.
No. Oh, man, that OB is so close. Brutal.
Yeah, I hate to see him lose a stroke that way. But I guess that's the risk you take when you run that putt.
Well, we got that fantastic birdie from Jeffrey, a couple of pars from the Badajoses, if that's how you pluralize that last name, and then the unfortunate bogey from Devin.
Yep, so Jeffrey takes the box headed into hole 8. It says 197 feet, but plays longer. It's positioned up here on this hillside in the green here. I think this hole plays best for a power sidearm or a backhand roller if you got it.
It looks like that backhand roller is exactly what Jeffrey has in mind.
Very understable.
Oh, okay. Hit some rocks or stumps on the way, but here we go. Wouldn't be top world disc golf if you didn't get daylight a little bit.
Yep. That disc is off to the races.
And this hole actually averaged the same as the previous hole, 3.09. So not easy.
Looks like Edan's also lining up that backhand roller play. Oh, hits the stump.
Yeah, I got to question the listed distance on this one too. Even though it is uphill, it looks like it's still quite a bit more than 197 feet.
Yeah, I'd say this hole, oh, that T sign there says 320. I'd say that's much more accurate. Plus the uphill plays more like, 350.
Yep, makes sense.
So Jai with good distance there, about pin high, but didn't get far enough right. And Devin going to the lefty backhand, just a little too much hyzer on it, but pretty good.
Yeah, way better than I could do with my left hand, that's for sure. Edan with a little forehand chip shot here.
One of my favorite Nate Sexton quotes when it comes to the lefty throws is, yeah, we all got a left hand. Just some of us got to figure out how to use it. And a good bid from Jeffrey. Parked for a par.
Oh, nice little Anheuser bid there from Devin. Had to get around that redwood. Just a little bit too high.
And Jai for birdie.
Oh, no.
This hole's weird.
It's
Like a very fuzzy shot. You can have a great shot and still be bad.
Do you hear Jeffrey there? He's like, you could have a great shot and it's still bad. This hole's weird. Yep. I have to say, though, I do like the course design here. Like, there's a lot of more open tee shots, but the greens are always interesting with trees or OB or slopes or combinations of those things.
Definitely.
Keeps the putting fun to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite 9 holes out of the 27 here. So it's great to see it in play again. Very challenging course design, as you mentioned, and really got to earn your birdies on this front 9.
Yep, I got 4 pars there.
All right.
Oh, and actually, real quick, before you do this whole breakdown, I just wanted to mention there were 0 birdies on that previous hole. Kind of crazy.
There you go. And this is a fun par 4, 439 feet, so big tee shot, and don't want to go over that cart path because I believe it plays OB on and beyond. And then you have these double mandos once you funnel down to the basket. So very tight double mandos through the redwood trees at the end. And Jeffrey's still with the box after his birdie on hole 7. It's looking like it's going to be good placement for the double mando second shot. Got to think that with a good drive close enough to those double mandos, could see an eagle too here. More of a low line drive from Edan here.
Great distance. That looks perfect. Jive, perfectly flat shot. Fading a little at the end. I think that's pretty good too. It's kind of tough to tell the alignment of the double mandos from that camera angle, but
yeah,
we'll find out.
I think it is good to go left, but not too far left. Because if you're too far right, then you really cut off the angle through that double mando. Oh, a little air bounce here from Rowell. And nice little skip.
More than a little. That's pretty big skip there.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Well played. All right, everyone I think had pretty decent drives here. Let's see what they can do with these little tricky upshots. Jai lining up the forehand anhyzer. He wants it to sit. It does sit. It's maybe 35 feet there, just outside the circle. Yep, good little jump putt pitch up there from Devin. Edan chips up a nice forehand.
One last chance at eagle. Oh.
Oh, that was so close.
Okay.
Yeah, and oh, sorry. Go ahead, Keenan.
So no eagles. Jai with the opportunity for birdie, probably at, like you mentioned, 35 feet or so. Little step putt.
No, just wide. He's had some mental putting issues for the last few holes. Hopefully he's able to work that out. What I was about to say after the upshots was there were no eagles on the day from the field. But like you said, it's definitely possible. The bigger field out here, I think we would probably see a few.
Yeah, it's looking like 3 birdies and a par for Jai.
Yeah, Jai did have the most awkward angle for his approach. It's really tough to control distance on a forehand little chip upshot like that without having it cut roll or flex out and go too far. So, understandable.
All right, so now we're headed on to the middle 9 holes that you've already seen in our Top World coverage of the Boulder Creek Bowl or the Boulder Creek Open. So this is hole 10, par 4. First shot, you just want to push it all the way up to the river or short of that. Probably, anywhere between 300 and 400 feet is great. Just short of this little OB River area. And then your second shot up over the river onto this hillside. Pretty flattish green, actually. 532 feet.
Jeffrey up first. Maybe hyzering a little more left than he wanted, but that'll at least give him a more simple kind of spike hyzer approach. It'll just be blind.
Exactly.
Edan going much wider. Great drive. Devin off on that left side. Another blind hyzer approach from over there, I'm sure.
Boom. Look at the power out of that sidearm. This should get a little skip.
Love that. All right, it's all about the second shots on this hole, as the first shot is very open. Just determines the angle you will have on your second. Devin going with the standstill, spike hyzer, getting around those trees. Good shot. Looks to be in the circle, if I had to guess. Jeffrey, yeah, that was a bit wide. Looks like maybe he was playing for a skip and didn't get it. Could have been a little closer with a favorable skip, but still wider than he was trying to throw it, if I had to guess.
And yesterday, Jai threw this shot, a similar shot in for an eagle too. Let's see if he can do it again.
Do it again. Go in.
Oh, yeah, you could hear the card saying do it again, so they were all aware. This is a pretty cool hole to eagle. I mean, I guess some top touring pros could get there in one shot, and that makes it a little less cool, but for those of us who don't have 500 plus feet of power, this is a good eagle.
Oh.
Requiring a throw in. Great. Wow.
Little metal
Son
hit
did
from
it in
Edan.
round one. Yeah, Dad almost did it in round two. No eagles today on this hole from the field. Oh, Jeffrey, just a little high for the birdie bid.
Okay, no eagles. See if we can get some birdies. Here's Devin for birdie. Nicely done. And Jai to go 3 down through this hole for 2 rounds. Oh,
No. From eagle to par. Still a birdie average. It's as if
Exactly.
he just birdied it both rounds.
the newly coined Top World term, the Pargle strikes
Oh, yeah,
again.
that's right. Across multiple rounds this time. Where's Edan?
Come
Time
on.
to tap out. There he is. After hitting the pole on his upshot, easy birdie. 2 birdies, 2 pars. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Headed on to hole 11. There's the water we're flying over. That is the only out of bounds on this hole today. So 363 feet, par 3. Pretty standard. I think these guys have the distance to get there. Getting a little windier now.
Ooh, this is a beautiful looking shot from Edan. Perfect.
That birdie train going.
A little bit wide from Devin, but it's starting to fade back. Oh, that's still a great shot.
Oh yeah, pin high.
I think I did from there yesterday.
You can see that flag on the basket really ripping with the tailwind too. So these guys can put some power into it.
Get off.
Oof, shaves the redwood tree.
Wow, great. Yeah, Jeffrey's got power. I mean, 360, it looks slightly uphill and on a hyzer the whole way. It's a great shot. Jai once again going with that power forehand. He's definitely got it. Little baby flex, but did not put enough anhyzer on it, so that's fading out to the right. Should be about 40 feet.
Yeah, maybe that tailwind made that disc stable up pretty quickly.
Yep, tailwind be like that.
You don't think it do, but it do.
Oh, great little floaty bid there. I liked that. So close. Oh, airball left. That would have been a right to left wind, I think, if it was tailwind off the tee. But the flag was kind of hard to read on that.
Yeah,
putt,
look at it
so who
swirl.
knows?
Just keeps changing directions out here. It saves the par. Nice birdie from Edan there.
Man, he's really stringing together a heck of a round so far. 7 down through 11 holes, separating himself from the rest of the lead card here. He's now at 19 under par with the closest score behind him being at 13 under. So 6-stroke lead at this point. Still a lot of golf to go on this 27-hole round. Jeffrey after the perfect drive. Easy tap-in birdie.
All right, on to hole 12. So this one, as we fly over the cart path, that cart path plays as OB on and beyond right. So no other OB on this hole. The main danger, I guess, is the little ravine creek area, which has a lot of foliage there that you got to get over when you're trying to push this backhand shot pretty straight before the fade. And looks like he missed the trees.
Enough? Oh yeah, barely made it around. Ends up being a great shot. Just had some pucker factor there mid-flight.
This looks good from Jeffrey.
Oh yeah, great shot. Devin, nice and high, fading back.
Oof.
That's a great shot. He's close, and he didn't bring the trees into play at all. No risk on that one.
And last to tee, Badajos.
Oh no, early release.
Yikes.
Big time early release. Into the rough and into the ravine.
No. So here's the little search party starting.
That's wild.
Pretty tough spot because, like we mentioned earlier, it's not out of bounds. So if he locates it in there, he would have to play from below.
It looks like a tough ravine down there.
Yeah,
Thick
exactly.
brush.
Thick brush. And still having time trying to locate the disc, so running the timer, trying to figure it out.
Man, the last thing you want to see is a lost disc penalty. And at this point, it has been discovered, but it was up in a tree, so there's a 2-meter penalty, in which case he's taking a penalty stroke regardless. So he opts to re-tee, which I think is the right call. You'd rather throw 3 from here than throw your third from down in that ravine full of trees.
Exactly. Veteran play from the young player.
It is kind of funny that in the end it was found, but the result was the same as if it had been lost, and he had to re-tee for 3.
Yeah, at least in this scenario, he gets his disc back.
True. In that sense, it is not the same. If he was counting on having that disc for the rest of the round, at least he has it. So I guess that means they were at least able to get it out of the tree. That's good to hear.
See if we can recover. So he's throwing 3. And this looks much better. Little left still.
Good shot, though.
Yeah.
He's got a putt from maybe 25 feet or so to save the bogey.
Yep. First up, Devin for birdie. Cash.
Nice.
And Jai to try and save his bogey 4.
Oh, no. The mental struggles on the putting green continue. It doesn't help that you had a search and had to re-tee and all that.
Yeah. See if your dad can show you how it's done. Another birdie opportunity for Edan. No.
Oh, just left side. Oh, Jeffrey. Weird hole for everyone, I think, with a long search like that and a re-tee. It kind of interrupts the flow of the round for the entire card. Not that anyone is to blame for that, of course. It's just unfortunate.
Yep, I agree.
Of course, most unfortunate for Jai, but somewhat unfortunate for the whole card. Yeah, that hurts. He's in for the double bogey. Still 1 under for the round. Still lots of holes to clean it up on the back half. Well, in the end, we've got 1 birdie from Devin, a couple pars from Edan and Jeffrey, and then that double from Jai.
Coming up next is hole 13. 297. No OB on this hole. Another sloped green, so roll-away potential as we've seen out here. Should be a birdie opportunity for these guys.
For sure. The thick rough on the left and the roll-away potential on the green look like the 2 primary challenges on this hole.
Yeah, this bush right off the tee kind of makes the tee shot a little awkward because it kind of forces you to throw that hyzer, which that's usually the result. You go too far left or you hit the hillside with too much hyzer.
Yeah, I actually remember now talking about this bush at the other Top World event that took place at this property.
Yeah, still very tall bush. This looks too high, cutting into the woods a little bit.
Yeah, you could really see the right to left wind kind of grabbed it there too and lifted it up and threw it farther off to the left than I think it would have with no wind.
Exactly. You expose that. This is better. He's not. Oh, he got the air bounce when he did expose the bottom of the flight plate a little bit to the wind, but having it
That's a good
lower,
shot.
Yeah, he'll have a putt for birdie. And see if Jai can bounce back after the double bogey. that drop.
Yeah, just left into that thick rough. And here's Edan in the jungle. See if he can punch through. No, he can't. That's thick in there. I think he made it to the edge. We'll see what he's left with. Oh, no. Poor Jai. Can't catch a break. All right, Devin's going to go next. I kind of feel like it might technically be Jai still, but speed of play, I suppose. Oh, just low. I think Jeffrey's the only one left on our card with a chance to birdie. Here he is. Nope. Jeff cleans up his par real quick, and here is Jai for a long look at a par save after that little roll away. Oh, just left side. Everyone's having a bit of a tough time right now.
Yeah, this wind is really swirling, combined with these sloped greens. Just doesn't make for an easy putting day.
Okay, so Edan did punch through enough that he's not still behind the wall of stuff. That's good.
Yep,
he does
saves
save
par,
the par.
keeps that bogey-free round going.
More tap-ins for par and one tap-in for bogey. I'll shout out the 2 birdies on the day on this hole from Tim Hammersley and Roshan Thomas.
Nice. Roshan making some moves on chase card.
Yeah, I've shouted him out a few times now. Roshan, is that how you say it? All
Yes.
right, noted.
All right, on to hole 14, 202 feet. There's the cart path about 35 feet beyond the basket that plays OB on MPO. So that's the main danger here, but very short hole, very birdieable, very aceable. Let's see what they can do. That'll do great. Looking like a birdie coming up for Devin.
Yeah, you got to think this is a hole that pretty much the entire field is hoping to birdie. Very straightforward. Although it averaged 2.64, so only about a third of a stroke under par, so it's not like over half the field is getting it.
All the way to left.
I guess the distance control can be tricky, and if you end up behind one of those 2 trees, they are wide enough that you wouldn't have a putt at all.
Yeah, this branch right off the tee can sometimes get in your head as well. Hit early,
Yeah.
but first 3 drives, pretty great.
I like that branch, though. Gives the hole some character.
Yeah, makes you choose. Do you want to go low or high? Very overstable disc from Jai, fights back there.
Edan in for the birdie. And if that was the farthest out, I'm guessing we're probably looking at a star frame here. Let's see if the rest of the players can convert.
No.
You could kind of tell by that reset and just in general his body language that he's still dealing with those mental struggles on the green. In my opinion, the mental struggles with close putts is the most frustrating part of the sport. So I feel you, Jai. I've been there plenty of times myself. Either the putt's working and you feel confident, or it's not, and then it just snowballs. Still hoping we can see him clean it up on the back half of this round. The other three players here taking birdie. Jai going to tap in the par.
Yep, and that's going to do it for part one of the Top World Disc Golf Tour finale. Let's look at our scores from the first 14 holes. Edan really pulling away, -8 through the first 14 holes, -20 for the event. Next closest in second place is Devin, only 5 strokes back at -15 for the event. So he's still putting together a pretty solid round despite a couple bogeys mixed in there. And Jai is at par for the round, Jeffrey -2, so they're both tied at -8 for the event. So.
And Devin has 13 holes left on the back half to try to catch Edan, so it ain't over yet. Come back and join us for the back 13.
We'll see you there.